What's poppin', everybody? This is the cartoon kid, Ray Rawlins, and today we're continuing the 25 days of Christmas cartoons marathon as we review Family Guy and their Christmas special, a very special freaking Family Guy, freaking, Lord knows what the fuck, Christmas. Okay.
It's a very long
This is the
time.
first time, yeah, this is the first time I've seen an episode that had a whole freaking sense for a title. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is, man. But before we begin our review, we're gonna have to go through the episode breakdown. So, Alex Payne, what happens in this episode?
I would say the plot of this episode is pretty simple. Lois and them get the gifts for everyone. Peter accidentally gives all the gifts to charity. They need to go get the gifts back again. Shit goes down, Brian almost burns the house down, burns up the turkey. Lois tries to clean up the place, but there's no hand towels. So she freaks out because everything's going wrong, and then she goes on a lunatic run of it. They try to get her back, even though she comes around from seeing the pageant. They still shoot over the dot anyway, and yeah, then they have Christmas with a drugged out mommy.
Listen, man, it's so sad to see like Lois. She wants to make sure the family has a good Christmas, and she's doing everything just to make sure the kids have a good Christmas. And even Peter too. He's obviously annoyed by this whole entire situation. He wants to sit down and watch TV. He's off of work for a vacation and whatnot, and nothing's going according to Lois's plans. Which obviously all that is a big up to the whole motherfucking snap of not having paper towels. Just that one little thing just set her off. But my first impression is, man, seeing the shit that Peter Griffin had to go through this episode, it just makes me think, man. And granted, yeah, getting stuff for your kids if you have them for Christmas is a good thing. You love seeing them open their presents and whatnot. But for some reason, when they went over to Joe and Bonnie's house, it made me think, like, if you have a wife and you have kids, you're probably going to have to go visit her family too. And what if you don't like her family? Me personally, I'm that type of cold motherfucker to say, listen, hey, I'm not going to your family. I'm going to my family. Hey, you do what you need to do, but I'm not going to your family house because I don't fuck with your family. Okay, that's the first thing that popped in, or the main thing that I want to talk about, rather, because that's my biggest takeaway from this episode from watching that shit. But what is your first impression?
My first impression is that Peter used to actually be a character instead of just stupid.
Yeah, yeah, right. See, I noticed a lot of things with this episode. Primarily, like Peter and Stewie are the main ones that stick out to me because
Meg too,
Peter
because they
now,
didn't
yeah,
they, they didn't even make any
they didn't.
reference to Meg.
Yeah, they made no fun of her. And I really want. What season was this? Was this season
3.
3 or was this? Okay,
This
yeah. So they
this
were
feels
deep
like
into
this
the
should be
series.
this feel like this should be a season, like, because even the way they dealt with Joe in this episode, like, it felt like Joe was still a new character or something.
Yeah, right. I was thinking all the exact same shit because we both obviously watched Family Guy from, oh my lord, way back in the day. I know for sure I was watching this back in like 2005, 2006 when I had to be like, I don't know, 9, 10 years old. So it's just like, yo, I'm seeing a lot of stuff that is not shown in modern day Family Guy right now. Like Peter, as you said, he's portrayed to be the big dumb idiot, drunk idiot too. But here he's just a actual dad. Yeah, he wants to get drunk. He wants to enjoy himself. A big fat sloppy motherfucker. But he wants to sit down and enjoy his TV as he, is on Christmas break from work. He's on his vacation. He wants to enjoy himself. Regular character. And he really doesn't do too many stupid things in this episode. It's like the Patrick situation with SpongeBob, if you ask me.
No,
And
yeah, it
let
is.
me I got to touch on Stewie for a minute too. Stewie, man, he always used to, especially back in like the beginning of Family Guy, he always used to be on some crazy shit, motherfucking wanting to take over the world. He wanted to fight Santa Claus, obviously, in this episode. He wanted to shoot at him with his little ray guns. I haven't seen Stewie use a ray gun in a minute. That's the main point that I'm trying to get at. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, yeah, I watch Family Guy all the time, because I don't. Not anymore. It's gotten honestly pretty stale from the new episodes that they're putting out. But don't get me wrong, I will sit there and binge some Family Guy from time to time. Some of the new episodes too, because I honestly am a fan of the characters and a big fan of the series. But it's just nothing like what it was back in the day. That's for sure. That's just my opinion.
And it's
And
crazy how much
honestly,
that shit
that's
has
my main
happened
personal
though.
question.
It's funny.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so crazy because, like, I mean, in general, because, like, think about it. SpongeBob, Simpsons, insert show here. It's like flounderization is friggin' be something pretty serious when you think about it.
But
Like,
but you know what though? You know what though? Because we can go on with this for days. It's just like, yeah, Family Guy has 17 seasons, but I think there's plenty ways they can go with this, especially with the character of Stewie. They can do some real interesting shit with that. 'Cause he's into all that sci-fi shit. It's just like, man, yeah, of course, every show is gonna get old every once in a while,
I don't even
but
mean
there's
older.
no
Like, the
reason why you're
characters go.
why are your characters drastically changing?
Yeah.
That's the thing, and that's where Family Guy took a big hit. But let's not stay on this for too long. Let's get into the favorite moments of this episode. What are some of your favorite moments?
I have two main ones that I could think of right off the bat. That is when they was driving on the street and Quagmire was hanging out the friggin' door and his head hit the dog.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, whoa, woo. That shit was funny. And when Stewie was freaking out in his bedroom and Lois was like, "Don't make me come in there," and he was like,
Oh
"Don't
yeah.
make me come in there."
Yo, that's one of my favorite. That has to be one of my favorite lines of that episode of all time. You got like the moment at the beginning, like, because I didn't notice at first that Peter wasn't with them. So they're on the what were they doing? Were they playing
They
like
they
hockey or
were
something?
no, they was watching the Christmas tree get lighted. They,
Okay, yeah, because I know I saw like snow and shit. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to think real quick off the top of my head. But anyway, Peter's basically pops up out of nowhere, just straight up, boom, hop up out the car, like straight up big gangster status. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm on vacation. I'm like, oh shit, they're the man of the hour, Peter motherfucking Griffin. So yeah, that's one of my moments. Another one, obviously, when Stewie's thinking like, oh yeah, Santa Claus is watching everybody, huh? And he's looking at the tree. He thinks he sees like a camera and whatnot. And then he moons the camera and shit. I thought that shit was hilarious. I gotta say too, when Peter's at the what the fuck is that? The charity spot, the Toys for Toddlers and whatnot, trying to get the gifts back. And you know what? I got a better moment. The whole fucking VCR shit. And I'm surprised I didn't bring this up earlier. What
sex
the
box.
fuck? The sex box, yeah. But you know what? When they brought up first mentioned the VCR, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, I forget sometimes that this shit came out in like the 90s, I say like maybe mid to late 90s, honestly. Early 2000s, time where
No, it came out in
VCRs were still
2000.
prevalent.
It came out in 1999.
Oh, this episode specifically, or the
No, the
actual
show
series?
the series
Oh,
in
okay.
general. So I would imagine this episode
This
probably came
came
out
out
in
like
2002.
2001. Yeah, 2001, 2002. So yeah, VCRs had to still be somewhat prevalent. And you hear that shit in 2019, it's like, damn, the fuck, VCR? Listen, I'm not even gonna lie, that fucked my head up when I heard that. Them three letters, VCR.
It's
And
funny
this
because I
motherfucker
didn't
pulls out
think
a
anything of it
VHS
at
tape.
all.
No, I mean, you normally wouldn't, but, because I seen a VCR, I know what it is and shit, obviously. We're both young cats. We're the same age practically. But still, that's one of the main things that basically struck me with this episode. Like, damn, this is old as hell. So, but that's one of the main moments for me. Obviously, when Lois snaps, Brian sets the whole house on fire with the turkey, not paying attention to it. Oh, when he uses Peter's joke fire extinguisher, it says joke fire, so it just makes the fire get larger and shit. So that's some of my favorite moments. But let's get into the final reviews of this episode, man. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
I feel like the episode was cool. Wasn't nothing too great. Wasn't nothing bad. I felt like
Right.
I feel like the main thing I got from this episode was how, like, different Family Guy used to be and used to
Oh
feel, and
yeah.
even kind
Oh
of
yeah.
sounded like it even sounded different back in those days and shit.
Without a doubt.
So like it's just I guess it felt like watching an original episode of Family Guy. But I thought that like I think the I don't know how to describe my feelings on this episode, but I just thought it was really decent. You know, it was all right. It was cool. It was cool. So I think I'm gonna give it a nice flat 7.
Okay. All right. And you know what? I'm kind of right there with you. Honestly, like this episode ain't nothing to. I honestly didn't like this episode at first. When I first saw it, when I got into Family Guy, I didn't really think too much of this episode at first. But it's that episode. If it pops up on your TV, you probably just sit down and watch. You'd be like, oh shit, Family Guy is on. It's a good nostalgic episode, like you said, man. Obviously, it's old as hell with the fucking mention of VCRs and shit. But like you said, the big takeaways from this as you watch it in fucking 2019, you see the big differences between the characters, and like that, all that shit was shown. Like Peter, obviously being an actual character, person with thought, instead of being a mindless buffoon like he is in 2019 Family Guy, modern day Family Guy. Stewie, obviously hellbent, world domination. Basically with a Hellraiser attitude, if the quickest way to sum it up. And he honestly, to me, doesn't feel that in a way no more. Obviously, you could say maybe that's because the whole shit with Lois and the whole simulation episode that they did where he actually ends up killing Lois. Maybe that's a result of that. I don't know. But honestly, this was a big nostalgia trip for me. I love old Family Guy. And I really never noticed it until today when I watched this episode that, Family Guy really did change. I mean, I always had a thought that, yeah, it changed. But seeing this episode and watching an episode probably from like 2019 right now, you can actually see the differences, like you said. So this episode in a whole is a nice nostalgia trip, honestly, if you're watching it today. Um, Nothing too special, but it was an all right episode. If it's on your TV, you're gonna say, "Oh shit, old episode of Family Guy." You wouldn't go wrong by watching it, but it's nothing too special, man. But then it's not bad. So I'm gonna hit this with a nice 6.5 out of 10. Should be fair enough. 6.5 out of 10. So with that all being said, that has been our review for Family Guy, season 3, episode 16, I believe. A very Family Guy special freaking Christmas, whatever the fuck. But this is the Cartoon Kid channel where we talk cartoons and we do it daily, baby. And we are continuing on tomorrow with the 25 days of Christmas cartoons marathon. As always, toss a comment in the comment box below telling us what you think of this episode. And if you want us to review something for this Christmas marathon, toss it down there too, man. We're always open to suggestions and improvements for the channel and whatnot. But with that all being said, we will see ya when we see ya. Goodbye.